Hello, hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you. I missed you so much. You start with the behavior and you create a habit. And then when you don't do that habit, hi, Marina, it becomes so odd. I have this Sunday time with you. And last Sunday, because I was driving, I had to cancel the show. And I have to tell you that the whole week felt off. I really felt that I was missing something, that I wanted to be with you, see you, and share these amazing stories and, you know, special people. Hi, salud, aloha, aloha. Let us know how Tom is. I've been sending prayers and the whole day thinking about him. So please keep us posted and let us know how Tom is doing. Today, I am hi, Penny, so happy that you're here. I am just so happy to be bringing Eric to the show today. I am honored, so honored that he said yes to this opportunity. And I want you all to know that Eric and I spoke probably 2 months ago about this event, and we have been communicating throughout this period. A lot of the speakers, I make up and then I just speak to them when it's their time to go live. But with Eric, we stayed in touch, and I have to tell you, I think that I sense such a beautiful light coming out of this person that I am happy because I really know that Eric and I are going to stay friends after this event. I have this feeling and I feel lucky, and I hope that all of you that are here, thank you so much for coming. Please say hello as you come in. Please share where you're tuning in from. I am tuning in from Tennessee. I am by Paul Cummings. My husband and I went away on vacation for a week, and today we came here to speak a little bit about some concepts and ideas that we have to share with you, that we want to plan for you for the future. So this great vacation is ending with some work. Yes, Marina, I know that you're from Virginia. Anyway, without further ado, I am bringing Eric over, and he's going to share his amazing, inspiring story with all of us. Please feel free, if you have questions. Hi, Nella. If you have questions, write the word question before your question, but try to wait until the end. I will post some comments, but when I feel that it's not going to be interrupting Eric from his story. But please feel free to put together your questions, because this is an amazing opportunity that you have right now to access this person and ask him questions about how he does it, because he's really unbelievable. So everybody, let's say welcome to Eric. Please help me welcome him. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome, Eric.
I am so Patrick Eric. That's how you go by?
Eric Patrick Thomas.
Eric Patrick Thomas. I am so happy to have you. You know that we have been in touch throughout this whole time. I find you so inspirational. We have something in common because we're both doing fashion in some way. I'm wearing my top. You're wearing your top.
Always great.
Always. I think the people in the group may think that I only have 2 tops, because I promise I have more.
I've been called out before. Sometimes some people call me a cartoon character because I have the same black and white shirt on all the time.
Right, and I'm with
Hello.
Hi, so I'm putting some. Oh, here is Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Jerry, recognize where I'm from? Where I'm tuning in? I'm by Paul. Yes, so there's a lot of people here, and I'm just showing you that everybody is saying hello, and everybody is welcoming you to the show, and we're all so happy that you're here. But let's go. Let's dive in and talk about your story. And I'm assuming you want to start at how you got hurt. Is that where you start?
Yeah, that's great.
So
Yeah.
take it from here.
All right, so 23 years ago, um, I'm doing hip hop music. I'm going to college for photography. I'm working 3 jobs at the same time. And my group, Miscellaneous, we're going to celebrate our music project on September 20th, 97. So I'm in the house. We had the album release party at our house, by the way. So a professional, get together in an unprofessional setting. So I learned. So I'm on the steps. I'm talking to my girlfriend at the time. Then I just all of a sudden make conversation, stand up and walk outside. I just like I was just being carried, like I didn't have control of it. And normally I don't go outside at our parties. Like go outside, then I'm checking the parking lot, making sure nobody's like in my neighbor's yard or everything's being calm. I'm coming back and I'm facing the house. Then I'm on the steps or I'm the bottom step, talking to my girlfriend at that time. Then all of a sudden someone comes around the DJ van and then pow, 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 pulls the gun and that's it. From the time of a great moment, my world was rocked. And I got a bullet right in my third vertebrae. So they hit me from the back of the neck and then wait shift. And then I spun and there was another graze on the back of my skull up top. So it looks like maybe one might have grazed my head maybe when I turned like that. So now I dropped that on the ground and I'm unable to move anything. And I'm unable to call for help. So like, hey, like anything like help, help, or I don't even know if I was able to cry. I'm not sure, but I was struggling, surviving at the same time. And then I wasn't able to breathe. So I wasn't even able to breathe on my own. So it's like coughing, foaming, and blood, struggling, holding on to survival. Everything was shut down. And that's where you got your faith, you have your prayers. Pray to survive, you know? It's like, okay. But I also felt unfinished. Like I've accomplished, I almost accomplished this this goal. Or it was like, I need to be here. There's more to what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't know what it was. I have no idea what it was at the time, but that's what it felt like. And then before you know it, um, the ambulance get there and they do what they do, get you ready for the hospital or save you. And then when I get to the hospital, I'm still kind of in and out of consciousness. And they're drilling 4 screws in my skull with this like cage, and it's called a halo. It's a metal cage. So your head is stabilized. And then they put 1 screw above your ear, 1 screw above the other ear, then 2 in your forehead. So you're not able to do this or this. You're just able to just use your eyes. And then they put tubes down my throat. And so I was intubated. And then I was out. And then I woke up. And then I saw my mom and stepdad and my dad and stepmom and some friends and family and some medical staff. That's where you learn that you're paralyzed from the neck down. When you're like trying to move, you're like, first you're trying to survive. So I think like ultimately it doesn't matter what's going on in the moment. Survival is the number one thing right now. Survival, because your life is critical. Your life's critical. You're on this bed that turns every 15 minutes, that it vibrates to get the secretions out of your lungs, and they're taking this tube, just called suctioning, down your throat. You're like, yeah, you're surviving. My communication was eye blinks, blink once, yes, twice for no, and then that was it. That's how it was. It was
I have a question here from Jerry. Jerry wants to know, how long were you in the hospital?
uh, September 20th of 97 to October 29th of 97, and then I went to rehab, and I came home from rehab March 20th of 98. So what, 6 months total? Hospital to rehab,
Mhm.
I think, right?
So, as far as the speech, this was a question that I had. You couldn't talk because you were intubated, right?
Correct. Hmm.
At what point they were able to take off the intubation so you could speak? Because I can only imagine that the inability to ask questions and communicate and find out, because people talk over you. I know my husband was in the hospital. I've been in the hospital, and somehow you were a thing in the bed, and people are talking over you, not to you, but over you. That this thing happens in the hospital, but you have questions. So how were you handling that period of time? So how long was that time that you couldn't communicate, and how you felt?
Well, we learned a form of communication. So, like I said, I use questions with blinks, with eye blinks, and then once they learned that they thought I was going to be, I wasn't going to breathe on my own ever again, they took the tubes out of the throat and then gave it on me. So that's where they do your throat, and then they put the tube there. So they basically take it from one end to the other end, and then you're breathing on life support that way. So now my mouth is free, so I'm able to move my mouth, but I'm also learning tongue clicks. So same thing as eye blinks, but now, so if the phone was to me or a person was asking the questions, so they're asking the questions and I'm giving the answers, right? For that point. When I got to rehab months later, uh, they let the cuff down. The respiratory therapist eventually was able to let the cuff down in the trach. Then that's when I was able to, hello, you know, when the breath came out, hi, how are you? What's going, so that's how it goes. And then eventually, as they wean you off the ventilator, then you're able to actually talk with the vent off, because that's what the vent on. When they're weaning you off and you're off for an hour or 2, 3, 4 hours, the ventilator shut off. You still have it attached to you, but then you're actually be able to push your voice through it when they let the cuff down.
Eric, where do you get this strength? Because you said something amazing, and Nella said that, and I felt that when you were saying I was unfinished. I mean, at that moment that you were on the floor, to have this thought, that is very, very powerful. I am unfinished. I have a job to do. You are in the hospital, so hurt, so affected, dealing with so much grief, so much loss, and you were thinking about being of service. Tell us more about it.
Well, I mean, ultimately, my faith is what keeps the strength, and then from that, it's just the will, the determination, the self determination to move on. To keep going, no matter how hard the challenge is going to be. You know, I just had so many things, so many goals and dreams to accomplish. At the same time, my goals and dreams also help other people. So it's like, as I'm going for it, I'm carrying 10 to 15 people with me saying, hey, come with me. I don't push them down. I bring them with me, even if they reach their goal before me. So I think it's just something that's within, or something about me that's there, that's just been there. Um, so I mean, I guess that's what I feel. I don't think that I feel like the shooting and what happened just intensified it, just brought it out more. A lot of
Mm.
people go the opposite way, and me, I was able to take it in a bigger direction, more intensified direction, electrifying direction. To where before I was just servicing a little, somewhat. Now I'm about to soon find out the big stages that I'm about to be on, the people with disabilities that I've never, I knew about because I participated in certain things in Special Olympics and some other stuff. But now I'm about to be on a different stage, from a hip hop artist to, performing on that stage, to this new platform where I'm going to be an advocate. I'm going to be a powerful speaker. I'm going to be able to be a voice for the voiceless. And that right there is amazing, to be able to have that, after such what happened, to be able to go from nothing. I mean, Bill, I was stripped away of everything. When people are in this world and they're on TV or they're on podcasts and they say like they didn't have anything, but like I really was stripped away of it all. I mean, I was on the cement. The only place to go is in the ground. So when you're down, you've lost all your sense of smell, taste, being able to breathe, with everything. It's only up. It's only up. And the more that you keep going up and succeeding, the better it is. It's just amazing. You have to always remember to think about how it was. So be humble. Humble yourself. So always go back and go, I know what it was like not to be able to eat. Now I get to eat food. What an amazing experience. I'm so appreciative. I'm so gratitude, of just being able to eat this food. Just being able to have this, have water, have a roof, live independently. All the things that came, from it now.
You are one in a gazillion. You're very, very inspiring. I mean, I can't wait for you to be on those big stages, because the light that you bring in is very dark place. People are, I was just looking into a video that somebody posted. She's a successful woman, she's a successful influencer, and she posted a video last night that she had to go to a hotel and she needed to be by herself because she noticed that she was comparing herself with other influencers and video creators, and she was feeling down because she felt that the other people were better than her, and she had to take this time off. And I said, we are living such crazy times because we have every tool to bring more light to the world. We have every possibility and ability to bring joy. And instead, so many of us go and compare what we're doing with other people, and we feel less than. And instead of staying in our lane, doing our thing, shining our light, we're comparing with other people, and we just become filled with anxiety and depression. And I see you with this incredible attitude of giving, of inspiring, of shining this light. If you told me that you were depressed all the time, I would not blame you one bit. And instead, we need more people like you speaking up, sharing what you're saying right now, because this is the true light, and this is the message that we need to hear and get out of this self-centered mentality, to do what you're doing. I mean, I have goosebumps all over. You're really very, very special. Very. Tell me something. How was your family dealing? Because you have this power within you, this force within you. How was your parents dealing with this loss, this situation?
Um, like I'm sure a parent would deal with it. It's their child. I'm sure that they're completely torn apart, devastated, angry, probably all the above emotions. The list. There never was a real investigation, so the person that either whom or who did it, it's just a big question mark. So throughout the years, there's like, oh, are we gonna find? Like we need to find out who. It's like, just let it go. You know what I mean? Forgiveness is given. Let's move on. That ship sailed. I cut that cord a long time ago. But I'm sure it's easy for me to say because they're the parents. Because I know that if I was in the other, their shoes, that'd be difficult. Actually, I'm not able to say how hard it would be because I'm not them. I don't have kids, so there's really no way that I can really understand. I can understand to a point by talking to other parents, but I'm sure it still affects them today. But at least now they're able to see all the things that were able to be accomplished. I'm sure like in the beginning, it was like life is just absolutely over, or it is on pause, or it's Well, how are we going to move on? How are we going to make it? What are we going to do? But the good thing is that both my parents, they're both divorced since I've been two, both remarried, both have strong step parents too. So um, they were able to do it without panicking. I don't think that they panicked or they didn't show it. I think that we kept our calm and were able to really focus on what needed to be done. And when I was in the hospital, it wasn't about suing or trying to get an attorney to the hospital because even though we don't even know who did it and there's no police investigation, it was about surviving. That was our goal. Goal was survival. After that goal was achieved, then it was to get off the ventilator. And that's when I went to rehab. That goal was to get off the vent. Rehab wasn't even a goal to move my arms or legs. The ventilator was the big challenge. Breathing air. That right there. You don't even know. It's so amazing what it takes to take that breath that I just took. And you don't know until you're faced with it. And you're like, wow. We walk around like we walk or we roll or we breathe air. We don't realize what it really takes to just breathe. It's like, even though my diaphragm is very paralyzed still, my cough and it's not very strong. So, but I'm able to breathe on my own once again. Just blessed. Just blessed. You know?
I, I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. I do so many interviews, but I'm kind of losing it a little bit because I think that we take life for granted. We take the abilities that we're gifted, we take them for granted, and we realize when we lose them, what we had. But what I am so inspired is you don't seem angry, you are content and feeling blessed with what you do have, and I'm feeling that in my heart, and I think that that's what's making me so emotional.
In the beginning, um, towards the people that did the shooting, I was able, give forgiveness, cut the cord of my anchor, and let my ship sail. It that didn't really affect me. It was what affected me was the police investigation. I don't know if I was upset. I wasn't like furious, but it was very frustrating where they're not doing anything. And it's like, and I'm doing all the work. I'm making the phone calls. I'm like, so have you heard anything? And it's like, and then when the detective is just like 3 years later, it's like, just get over it. Nobody's talking. Like, wow, like that's what is your job? Like it felt like we were clashing. Like I was the person that did something wrong. That's what it was like trying to turn over to. The other thing to mention the point, Big Perm that was in my group. Later on, we were getting this guy was video recording us about the story, and he asked that question: Was Eric ever angry? And then Perm said Eric was bitter, but it wasn't bitter like what's going on. It was that because every time I talked to Perm, I would ask him, has he heard anything? And he kept reliving the moment over and over that he didn't want to. So that was his explanation of being bitter. Because I'd be like, have you heard anything, Perm? Like, what's going on? Like anything? Anybody saying anything? So then every time I talked to him, so it pushed us apart because he said, and he explained this and said that every time I would hear that, it would take me back to when it happened. Because Perm was there when I got shot. I mean, he's the one that saw me laying on the cement. So that in those cases, but other than that, I never. It's challenging. There's things that are upsetting, accessibility and some of all the stuff that's happened. You know, transportation and access and caregivers. Not showing up. Of course, that's very frustrating. But what's anger gonna do for me? You know, it's just gonna hurt my health. It's gonna make my blood pressure go up. It's gonna make my head hurt. It's you got to figure out other ways to handle things. So maybe you turn on karaoke and you sing and just do karaoke, whatever makes you happy. Channel in other ways. Work on designs. Call somebody, whatever it is. Find your other way to handle things. So,
This is amazing. Tell us, share with us your work in the Senate. I'm very curious because you are a voice for other people that have barriers. Tell us about it. What are you doing, and is there any way that we can support in your in your fight?
well, not on any of the state boards right now because I was on bed rest for what, 800 plus days from March 1st, 2018 to actually this past Tuesday. I relapsed with a bone infection 3 times. So, been dealing with that since March 1st, 2018. At that time, I was on a few state boards and a couple committees. I'm not now, but I actually have been asked to be on a couple of state boards. Actually, they said whatever state board I wanted to that I was interested in, but I told them I'm going to wait until I'm better because I want to be able to give them my input, you know. Um, but I've spoken at House and Senate, uh, state and in federal, in DC. Back in mid 2000, the Disability Network, where I got all my start from, of being able to hire people and my advocacy. Mr. Zelli called me up. He was the president at the time, and he said, "I need you to come speak to Congressman Dale Kildee and tell him your story, testify or tell him your story, the importance of living independently and not living in a nursing home." So a guy named Dave and we had maybe 2-3 minutes to talk to Congressman Kildee. But whatever we said, he took that information and he put a bill together called Money Follows the Person. And then it went on the floor. It was co-sponsored, it was introduced. And then it passed and they still vote on it today. And it's brought thousands of people out of nursing homes into independent living. So that was pretty awesome. That's a really, really powerful way to use your, just 2 or 3 minutes of your voice, of your time can change so many lives. Um, I had an internet radio station, and internet radio is in jeopardy, and the royalty rates were changing. So the CEO of Live 365 asked me to go to Washington, D.C. and introduce the Internet Radio Equality Act. I think that was in 2006 or 2007. So here we are. We're going to the House. We're going to the Senate. We're setting up meetings. We're actually bypassing all the staffers. We're going right to the congressman, and we're talking to them and just saying this is what it is. Sometimes the lobbyists would come in on my meetings. But I'd be like, I got this. I got this. And then we got the bill passed, Internet Radio Equality Act. I've testified just on long-term care, home health care. Anytime that there's cuts in Medicaid and Medicare, I'm like, contact me. I'm down. Let me know. I'll be there. Just get me there, or let me know when you need me or something. I've done a lot of that. Been able to speak on self-determination, where people are able to live independently and be able to hire their own caregivers, have an acting fiduciary, be able to handle a person-centered plan. Just different things. Like this is the things that I'm doing are improving the quality of life for other people, which just goes so long. It goes so far. It just keeps going. And that's kind of that's some of the legislative work. When the pandemic started, I contacted the senators that I know. I got their cell phones. I don't mess with their staffers. I contact them directly. Hey, like, what's going to happen for people with disabilities if their caregiver or they get corona or COVID? How are they going to be able to take care? Like, are they going to be isolated? Are they going to be able to have their caregiver go to the hospital with them? We got to get on the ball of this. We got to figure this out. So for the first 2 months, I was sitting there nonstop, just working on that with the governor's office of Michigan, back and forth, back and forth. At the same time, my friend also started a 3D company, 3D printing company. He started printing face shields. So I was helping with that too, supplying face shields to the hospitals or to anybody that needed face shields. My friend Kevin, I think he's probably at 80,000, 90,000 face shields. These are donated. And everybody else that joined this group, Operation Face Shield, they started having 3D printers and they started making face shields. And then a guy came in and he had a plane. He was like, hey, if you need me to fly him somewhere, I'm down. I'm here for you. So everybody just started volunteering their time. It was just amazing. So
Wow.
those are just some of the things that uh that I've done, that I've done with working with legislative process stuff.
Incredible. Talk to us and tell us about your t-shirt, your Inspire, your company, because one of the people that I look up to in the fashion world, Damon John, he interviewed you a few times. You met him
Yeah.
from Shark Tank and from FUBU. You know that I'm in the business of clothing, so I'm
Mhm.
super curious to know about that experience, but also about your business and where you sell your products. How did the concept started? I'm very curious about it.
Yes, this is, and it's so after all the different ventures that I've tried, I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I go back to this childhood dream of owning my own clothing line or doing a business printing T-shirts. So with my services, supportive employment through community health services, I'm able to get a job coach, someone to help me start a small business. So I already knew someone named Cheryl at Goodwill. She had a T-shirt business, and I talked to her like 10 years ago. Like, I want to do that again. So we kind of just like went back to it and developed a business plan, let people read it and rewrite it. And I write by voice, my dragon naturally speaking. So I type everything by voice. And then my friend Ziad, uh, who's the president of the D-Man Foundation, he also owns multiple companies. I let him read it, and he was like, well, I don't just want to be an investor. I want to be a business owner, but a business owner that has resources. So I'll be able to like utilize the attorney, be able to utilize the CPA, the resources that he has. So because that would cost me a lot of money on top of the initial investment to be able to start the business. The initial investment was just to buy the equipment and just get started. Wasn't a lot. So that happened, and then that's when we became EC Awareness by Design, which stands for Eric and Ziad Bring Awareness by Design. And then Goodwill just happened to have an incubator opening up in their building, the headquarters. We just went there, and I negotiated to open the business there. Before you know it, November 2011, EC Awareness by Design is officially opening their doors.
Wow, amazing. So
So,
today you have you have a whole line, right?
oh yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah. In the business plan, Damon John, it wasn't because of Shark Tank, it was because of FUBU. I said he's a lifestyle brand. I gotta meet Damon John. I gotta meet him. He's in the business plan. I need to meet him because he has FUBU. He started FUBU, and that's the route I'm going. So 1 year later, the anniversary of my business, November of 2012, Damon John just happens to be coming to Flint, where I live, in Flint, Demont College. He's coming to speak. Well, guess what? The people that are bringing him, I've already built a relationship with them for the last 15, 18 years, or whatever it was. The Coneys, Mr. and Mrs. Coney. So they already had it set up. By the time he was done with his speech, it was time for me. It was already set up for me to go back and speak with him, and be able to do what I could do. They opened the door for me at the end, and I had to pitch, or go talk to him. And basically, he said when he left is the same touch. I've heard that from thousands of people. Once they go back to their city, it's you never hear from them again. But we followed each other on Twitter, and he started following my story, and we started cross promoting for each other, Shark Tank and FUBU and different ventures that he was doing. And then before you know it, he asked us to go to the Damon John Academy, which came to Michigan. So my team went to that, and then that's where we learned how to start a Shopify page. So we took our website down and we opened up a Shopify page the next working day. Also, that's how we were able to start focusing on Inspire. because I was wearing Inspire when I went to speak, and we were selling it at that time before the Damon John Academy, but we were also selling like 40 other different brands. We were just everywhere. So when we were at the Damon John Academy, George said, "Which one are you marketing?" It was like, "All of them." He was like, "No." It was like, focus on one. So that's how the Inspire really got the main focus. Um, and then we started getting sales that night after we switched everything over. And then a few months later, Damon makes a purchase for Inspire stuff, and we're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." We're all happy. And then he took a picture on June 13th. It was a Friday the 13th, 2014. And he wrote this huge article like on the post. And so our team was super excited about it. And so that sparked Inspire Friday. We wanted people to feel that good feeling before the weekend on Friday. And so we started saying, what inspires you? Inspire Friday. So that's how Inspire Friday started. And then just Inspire just organically grew. People were buying it they were going through chemo, going through dialysis, people that inspired them, teachers, doctors, nurses, you name it. It kept growing. And each person, I would say it's like a tree. Each person that purchased it grew a new branch of this tree. So it took on its own meaning, but it still stayed positive and it still kept with the mission. It still empowered. It still did create and brought the creativity out in a person, or brought out the best in a person. It was a breath of fresh air, and it created social and positive change. So there was all this happening. And then before you know it, Damon's like, "Hey, I want you to take a vacation and come out to Shark Tank." So then I'm going out to Shark Tank as a guest, not to be on Shark Tank, but to be his guest. I go get the Shark Tank experience, which is amazing. Like, here it is. And not to mention, he purchased like 8 duffel bags worth of Inspire gear to pass out. So we couldn't ship it because we didn't have enough time. So we put it in 8 duffel bags on the plane. And then I come back home to Flint after that amazing experience. And then just trying to put in action all the things I've learned. But I think I've learned so much every single day that it's really hard to put everything into action. But I got notes. But yeah, the Inspire is growing. The website's inspireshirt.com. We also got a brand page on Amazon. So Amazon licensed the Inspire designs from us. So amazon.com/Inspire shirt. And then so you can see the brand page there. We got it trademarked with Ziad's trademark attorney, with Faye. We went through a huge trademark process. We went up against some big companies that would stop the trademark because they might have had a line called Inspire back in 2012 or 2009. So it was just keep continuous going at it, letting them know I wanted to get the Inspire trademark. This is why, this is what it's all about. This is me, I'm the brand. And then the day we got the trademark, it was awesome. We made a shirt that said it's official. It had a big R on it. And yeah, there's people that copyright us or trademark infringe us, but what are you gonna do? Go take down everybody? That's a whole job itself. And
And
it's inspiration. You don't want any negative power or negative energy to the brand.
that's exactly what I was going to say. That you don't seem the kind of guy that would stop being an inspiration to fight people that are just, stealing or non-creative. At least if they do something good with it, then go ahead. Let's stay positive and do something amazing. I'm gonna get my T-shirt, and I'm gonna want all the links so we can put it in the group, and I'll put it on my homepage, my personal page too. So anybody who's interested, the holidays are coming, and I cannot think about a better gift during this time of the year. And I'm getting a few, and I hope that everybody in the group will support it as well, because this is really an amazing. It's an amazing gift from an amazing place. You know, it's
Yes, thank you.
my pleasure. No, for sure. So, what are the other things that you're planning for the future? Because something tells me that even though you had this issue right now that you're still recovering from, that you're not stopping, that your mind is working and planning, and I would love to know what you have in mind.
Well, one of the amazing things that I didn't mention earlier with the relationship with Damon as it grew, when he started having Power of Broke, Rise and Grind in his new book, Power Shift, I was able to be an ambassador on his campaign. Learning how to campaign for a book campaign, social media, I mean, like I'm right there on the forefront. It's like I'm able to campaign anything now, which happened 2017. I needed a wheelchair accessible van. So July of 2017, I started campaigning for a new wheelchair van. It was called We Drive to Inspire. And I used those tools and what the experience I learned to campaign for a van. And then, of course, I thought I was going to be good. And then, of course, March 1st, I end up on bed rest with a hole in my body. And then June 11th, I end up back in the hospital because of complications, because of what happened. Both my lungs collapsed. I got intubated for 15 days, feeding tube. And then I had to relearn everything almost in like 15 days, just like I did in rehab 20 years ago. I got out of the hospital. I got off the oxygen. I got off the tube. I was able to eat again. July 6th on my birthday. Then I went back to fundraising, but still I had to recover from this wound in my body. And then August, we had a fundraiser for the van at the Polish Legion. My caregiver put that on. And then I let Damon read the campaign. I was like, hey, can you read this? I've raised about 20,000. Can you let me know what else I need to do? He said, jump on a call tomorrow. Can you jump on a call? Jump on a call. He's like, I'm not only going to like give you like feedback, I'm going to put two people on my team to help you. So that's why I had Sherry and George from Shark Group to come on board. And so George and I worked nonstop to raise this money for this van, along with everybody else. He was doing like the in-kind sponsorship, going to sponsors, everything. And then Damon also offered to do sponsorship for these businesses and stuff. So here we are. Now it's 2019. Still on bed rest. I did not realize that was going to happen that long. Then finally I get healed. And then I'm thinking, hallelujah. 3 weeks I'm up in my chair, and then I relapse. And I'm back on bed rest again. And then it lasted all the way to almost the end of December of 2019. But the awesome thing is, while I was in bed, on December 20th, Inspire Friday, I was going down to pick up my new Chrysler Pacifica Torino Plus. Black on black, 20-inch rims. Looks like the Batmobile. It's named Tank Panther because it's like a tank and it's black like a panther. It just, when you see it, and you'll see a video on my YouTube. And then I was like, wow, I'm healed now. I'm going to be mobile. And then the pandemic hit in 2020. So it's like, okay, here we are now. What to do? And like I told you earlier, what I did with the pandemic. And then I still have all these other goals. So now that I got the van, the next goal is we live to inspire, getting a house. Getting a house that's fully wheelchair accessible, fully accessible. I'd love to get some technology in there. So not just for myself, but if I have someone that's blind or hard of hearing or hard of seeing, or my stepbrother, he's deaf, some kind of accessible technology communication device where they'll be able to visit me and be able to comfortably communicate with each other. Because I'm not able to use sign language because I don't move my arms. All I can do is listen or watch what he's signing to me, and then try to tell someone what he's saying, and then try to get him to. So it's a very interesting thing. But that's what I want to do, fully accessible, fit my needs. Maybe it's not the big dream house. Maybe it's the second, maybe it's a step up from where I'm renting right now, and I'm ready for the next step. So that's the next campaign. We live to inspire. And then updating the website, more lifestyle photos. My vision is lifestyle photos. So people wearing the Inspire stuff, whatever the design is in that action. That's what I want for the product, to be able to go on it and you see that. And then you can choose what size, But that's the main front is the lifestyle photos. The other thing I like it to do is I like it to be, how do you bring the retail experience to an e-commerce site? How is that? Like, can you have like a function where you come on my site and then you can say, wow, I want to video Eric right now and I want to ask him about some questions about his shirts. Here I
Wow.
am. Or is it just audio? You know, like, how do you bring that retail experience where I can take you through the store, but it's e-commerce, but it's online, if you choose that. Some people just want to be alone. They want to shop. They want to get off. But if, say you want to be able to ask questions, you're asking, you know, maybe it's hot, it's summer. You want some clothes that's not gonna, you know, suffocate you, or it's gonna wick the sweat off you or something. Keep you dry but comfortable or cool. So I want to get the website revamped. We've been working on it. Uh, at the same time, more Inspire Designs. Um, I'm still working on my music project, so I do hip hop music again. I performed on stage 17 years later, once again, with the
Wow.
D-Man Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are just some of the goals. Surviving, you know, and just staying healthy. Staying healthy, no more relapse. No more relapse.
No more
Staying, no more relapse. I want to be in my chair every day, ready to rock and roll, be mobile, live life, and love it while helping
I
other
think
people,
that that's very fair.
while helping others.
I think you
So
deserve that.
yeah,
That that's incredible. I think, listen, with your mindset, because mindset is, I think mindset is 90% of the success of a person. In your mindset is in the right place, focused on the future, in bettering not just your life but the life of others. I have a friend, actually, she's in our group. She has two deaf children and she became a sign language teacher. I'm gonna talk to her. Maybe there is something that she can do with you and
yeah,
with your stepbrother to help you out. I'm gonna. She teaches in a school for deaf children now, so I'm gonna connect the two of you and see. She's a woman of faith, and I'm sure she's gonna be able, want to do something for you. I'm gonna make it a connection.
awesome. I have an ASL Inspire shirt too, so it's got the hand signs
Oh wow!
spelling out Inspire.
Oh, I'm gonna show her that too. She has two deaf children, so she has her hands full. Also, she has some autistic children, and she's amazing, amazing, also inspiring. It's gonna be a good connection for you. Um,
Awesome.
as far as I have a question for you about the technology of the chair that you have. You were able to move the chair through blowing it, right? You can move forward
Correct.
and back.
Mhm.
It's all through blowing.
Yep. Hard sip forward, hard sip forward, hard sip backwards, soft puff right, soft sip left, hard sip forward, hard sip backwards, soft puff right, soft sip left, right here. So I have to make sure that I don't puff too hard when I'm trying to go to the right, or it's gonna go straight. So, and then this is my weight shifts.
Uh-huh. Look at that.
That shifts the
Wow.
weight off your booty, so you don't get any pressure wounds.
Right.
Because you know you're not. Some people, if they can move their arms, they'll lift themselves up off the chair. But since I'm not unable to move my arms, so you have to do weight shifts. So it takes the pressure off the butt.
It's incredible. Incredible. Uh, I want to open up because we have another 10 minutes to go, 5, 10 minutes, and I want to see if anybody in the group has any questions that you want me to ask or you want to ask, because I can post those questions. Oh, I'm glad, Salute, that he's been listening. Uh, that's right. We can overcome. Yes.
Thanks,
Uh,
thanks, thanks.
Yes, I have to tell you, people are very, very, very inspired by your message. Yes, incredibly
Awesome.
inspiring. If anybody has questions, now is your time. You want me to read it for you? Can you see it?
Well, I'm reading it.
Reading.
That's interesting. She said resilience, and my name is Empowering Resilience, Inspiring Change. That's the acronym for Eric.
Yeah, resilience has been my word for the last. This is my second year that resilience is my word, and I always say, I was thinking about 2021. Should I change my word from something else to something else? But I was talking to some people, and I said to them, if you are resilient, if you have the strength to overcome adversity, then everything builds on it, right? If you're faced with some adversity, but you have the strength to overcome it, you can have love, you can have health, and you can have, all the beautiful blessings because you were able to overcome that adversity. And no matter what life brings us adversity, we're here to grow. We're tested so we can grow and we can prove that we can become better people. And so no matter what, adversity is going to come in one shape or another. So
Mm-hmm.
every year I think about another word and I'm like, no, I'm going back to resilience. Because if I am able to overcome it beautifully, with grace, with kindness, with love, without harboring anger, without harboring pain and negative feelings, then I'm resilient. And then I'm healthy. And then I'm full of love and I'm full of light. And that's what I want to be. So I find that the resilience is the beginning of all that goodness. That's the basis. It's this, the cement, that bottom of the structure. So yes, and by the way, Kathy is a very, very resilient woman herself. She's also an author, and she went through a lot of adversity. You see, the group of people that we have here, they are just such amazing people. I always say that the people that I bring to interview and the people in the group, those are the true heroes. We have like this tendency to make out of sports players or actors as idols, but that's a job that they have. The true heroes are people that overcome adversity with this beauty, with this light that you have, with this kind of attitude. You are the hero. People like you are the heroes. Those are the people that we need to look up to and learn from and admire and have posters and pictures on our walls and say, look, if Eric Patrick can do that, then I
I don't know
better do that too,
I don't know if anybody has a poster of me on the wall. It'd be interesting though. That would be very
Listen,
interesting. I'm gonna start
but
selling
I'll
them
tell
out
you,
posters. We can make posters too, but I never. That would be interesting.
why- and you know what? Wearing your t-shirt is the same thing.
Right?
Wearing your t-shirt is the same job. Is
Yeah. I
remember
was actually. It's more. It's when I see people wearing the shirt. It's just like just amazing because they're
it is.
they're actually they're actually taking action to say this means something to me or your story or your brand. We support it. So it's really it's awesome to see. Every time I see it, I just get the same feeling. I'm like, oh, you see that? We're in the so
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Here
it's
now,
great.
love your entrepreneurship. Also wishing you all the best and thank you for the sharing and teaching us. Absolutely. When I always say when people are sharing their stories with us, we better take this as lessons for our future. It's not just about sitting and hearing somebody's stories, it's what those stories can do for us in our journey. So we learn, so we become better people, and we learn from your experience. So we don't have to, right? So we don't have to. We can
Right.
say, now I am able to. So let me be grateful for every breath I take, because Eric Patrick, needs to put so much effort, and I have it as a gift. I need to be grateful every second. And if he can do everything that he's doing, then I better get off my tush and do amazing things too.
And some of the tools, some of the things I always say is, don't say can't, always say how. So finding your how is basically, it's like a how is like a building block to that answer that you're looking for, the end of the goal, you know. And you got to think about it, the how. If you were going to go somewhere right now, you're going to start, you know, automatically calculating in your head, how am I going to get there? Am I going to take the bus? Am I going to take a car? Am I going to get picked up? Am I going to walk? Can I use the scooter? You know what I mean? You automatically are figuring out, how do I get from point A to point B? And that's really one of the biggest things, because when you say can't, when they're like, oh, I can't do that. Well, yeah, because you already kind of told yourself that it's not going to happen. So I always say, just say how, and how may come 10 years later, but it's still building, it's still growing. And the other thing is one of my quotes is, I never knew how powerful one word could be till I wore it on a shirt. That's the truth.
That is the truth. That is the truth, and it couldn't be a better ending. Eric, I am so grateful for your time, for your inspiration, for your tenacity, for your resilience. I'm thankful to God that allowed you the time to continue doing that unfinished business, that it was that you were not done, and you weren't done, and you're still not done. And I'm so grateful, and I can't wait. And I really hope that we're going to keep texting each other and continuing our friendship,
For sure.
as it has been up till now.
Most, yeah, for sure. You got to tell me more about your book and
Because
everything else.
yeah, yes. So next week I'll send you I'll send you my book, and we'll talk more about it, and I'll share with you my goals and how I figure out how I can help you. I would love to volunteer in any way that I can be of support to your message, because I would be honored to be a soldier in your army of goodness. So we will
Awesome.
talk more about it, and we'll
Yeah,
see how I can support you in what you're doing, and vice versa.
sounds beautiful.
Okay. My friends, my loves, my people that are here listening, thank you so much. Share, share, share. The link from Heal with Gold is not shareable because it's a women-only group that is a safe space for us. So that place it's not able to share. But all of you can go to my personal page, Miri Dollinger Grunhaus, or you can go to youtube.com/Mika Fashion, and you can take the link of that video and share it and post it everywhere, because Eric's message is the type of message that everyone, every family should hear. Show it to your children. This is the kind of material that our youth should be listening to and hearing and getting inspired and planning for the future. So as a gift to Eric and me, take the link and share this message of inspiration and love. And I will post later on Eric Patrick's all of the links for his company. He's going to text it to me, and I'll share it with all of you, and buy his shirt as a gift for someone you love. Okay?
Sounds amazing. Sounds like a
Every-
great thing. Awesome. Not does it sound like it is a great thing.
Okay.
It's great.
It is. Yes. And I have a show Wednesday, and this time it's going to be 4 p.m. The reason for the change of time, it's because I'm interviewing somebody in Europe, and it's a love story that you will not going to want to miss. She suffered 2 strokes, and she was not able to walk. Now she's walking, and it's the most beautiful love story ever. So join me Wednesday at 4 p.m. Everybody have a good evening. Eric, thank you so much. Everybody have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.